everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite fall recipes, which is this spaghetti squash with mozzarella stuffed meatballs. I love spaghetti squash around fall time. It's just one of my comfort foods. Plus, it's actually low carb, and I think if you omit certain things like the breadcrumbs, it actually becomes keto friendly too. So it's an all-around amazing recipe, and I'm going to show you guys how to make it right now. So starting off, you guys are going to need, obviously, a spaghetti squash. I choose the medium-sized ones most of the time because they don't really reheat that well. So I like to keep them smaller. You're also going to need some ground beef. Any percentage should work, whatever you prefer. These mozzarella cheese pearls are perfect size for fitting inside of the meatball. You're also going to need some grated Parmesan cheese, and then some pasta sauce. Any brand, any flavor should work just as fine. And then some breadcrumbs for inside of the meatballs, some milk. I'm not sure about percentages, but we just use whole milk. I tried this recipe with red wine this time. I don't normally do it, but I had it on hand. And then just some salt, some pepper, some Mrs. Dash garlic and herb is what I use to season the meatballs and the sauce, and some crushed red pepper for the sauce, and then 21 seasoning salute to season the meatballs themselves. So the first thing you're going to do is wash off your spaghetti squash. This is very, very important to do. So you see me here just taking a paper towel that's wet and really rubbing off any dirt that might be on the spaghetti squash. Then you're going to take a knife and cut your spaghetti squash in half. I suggest being very, very careful with this. It is a hard type of squash, almost like cutting a pumpkin. It's a little bit difficult, but once you know how to do it, it just becomes easy, and you split it right in half and then pull out the seeds. As you'll see me do, I like to keep a paper towel underneath when I'm pulling out the seeds, just because it makes it easier for cleanup. You just put it right on top of the paper towel and pour the seeds out, and then you just wrap up the paper towel and throw the whole thing away, so less cleanup, less mess. After all the insides are taken out of your spaghetti squash, you're just going to rub it with some olive oil and then give it some salt and pepper. So now that your squash is all seasoned, you're just going to put it inside of your Instant Pot on top of a silicone holder or the metal holder with a cup full of water. Don't mind me struggling. I was holding the camera with one hand. And then you're just going to put the top on your Instant Pot. Make sure it is set to seal. And then you're going to put it on manual for 12 minutes. And while that's doing that, you're just going to work on the meatballs. Okay, so to assemble the meatballs, I don't know exact measurements. I've been making them for years, so I'm just gonna guesstimate just because I eyeball everything. So we start with a pound of the ground beef like I showed in the other clip, and then we're gonna put maybe 1/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs, a couple of tablespoons of red wine, about 1/4 of a cup of the milk, and then a couple of tablespoons each of the seasonings, as well as, I want to say, maybe also a couple of tablespoons of Parmesan. Now you're just going to get in there and mix it with your hands, just because it mixes it better than with a spoon. And you're just going to do that until everything is combined. So now we're going to roll the meatballs and put the mozzarella in them. I show in slow motion-ish how to do it for the most part. You just take like a small piece of that ground beef, you flatten it out, and you put one piece of your mozzarella pearl or a chunk of mozzarella, whichever you're doing, into it. Don't drop it like that. You're just going to press that in there and then roll the meat around that mozzarella ball, and then just roll the whole thing into a ball. So the spaghetti squash is done. You're just going to put that on a quick release. And then after it's done releasing the steam, you're going to put that to the side. It's great to have two separate inserts when you're doing a recipe like this. So I did the spaghetti squash in the stainless insert, and I'm doing the meatballs in the non-stick insert. And we're going to put that on saute to start the meatballs. You just drizzle a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to put the meatballs in to brown up just a little bit before we put it together. After your meatballs are browned, you're just going to add the entire jar of the pasta sauce. I put just a little bit of water in the bottom and got the rest of the pasta sauce. I also added some chili flakes, the red pepper flakes. Yeah, the red pepper flakes to the sauce, a little bit of Mrs. Dash, and then the leftover mozzarella that was on the board, because touched raw meat, I don't want to put it back in the package, that's nasty. So then you put your top on. Again, make sure you set it to ceiling. Knows how many times I have forgotten it. And we're going to put it on manual for 8 minutes. When that is done, you're just going to let that do a quick release again. And you're going to take your spaghetti squash out of your other Instant Pot insert. And we're just going to take a fork and rake it across until the squash starts giving you that spaghetti stringy squash out of the inside of the shell. And it was super hot, so I do suggest either setting it aside for a little bit more time than I did, or using a paper towel like I did here. It did help a lot. And here's our meatballs all done. This is exactly how you want it to look. It was super, super yummy, and it made my entire kitchen smell amazing that day. So this is our plate all finished, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Please let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that you guys love for fall, and anything that you guys would like to see me make for fall. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.